and cried, caring not my Lord was crucified, knowing not what for me he died on Calvary. Mercy there was great and grace was free. All there was denied to me.
and we bless the Lord for them. Thank you so much, and God bless you. They did their thing last Sunday, and I was glad to be a part of it. And we learned something that Pastor has a little challenge with his ABC, according to some people. But I won't go into that. No. At least when we're preaching family life, we can go back. We're happy to have you, sir. And Brother Sylvester has a story, and we're just happy to have you. We're happy to have all of you. God bless you. Please retake your seats, and please stay richly to enjoy the productions of the earth, the bountiful harvest, the treasures of gold and silver are his gifts, houses and lands, food and clothing he has placed in the possession of men. He asks us to acknowledge him as the giver of all things, and for this reason he says, of all your possessions I reserve a tenth for myself. For the pastor. For the pastor who would like. Watching, I can't tell you say. For the pastor who we don't like sometimes. No. It's for who? It's for who? For God. Besides, now watch this. He reserved a tenth for us of the Lord, because in so doing there is a blessing. There is no safety in withholding from God his own portion. No safety. Alright? No safety at all in doing so. Comes in Stewardship 66, paragraph 4. Poor, clothed, and the firstborn. We're turning this thing right side up. Sorry. The gleaning and the corners of the field were reserved for who? So when the rich man cleans his field, God says, leave the corners so that the poor passerby can push over his hand and pick something enough to eat. Are we together? So even the poor, provision is made for them, and therefore they too can give from what they have. Oh, you didn't get that? So poverty is not an excuse to be derelict in our duty. Alright? So the first fruits of the womb, when the sheep were short of the grain, when the wheat was afresh, were set apart for God. So also were the firstborn of all animals, and a redemption price was paid for the firstborn son. So if you have a firstborn son, that child should naturally go into the ministry and become a pastor. Hello? And otherwise, you have to pay a redemption price. Are you with me, brethren? Anybody understand that? If your child, the first child you have is a boy Pitney, God said, I'm my own that. And if it's God's own, he's supposed to be dedicated to the Lord. Not like what we do at the altar a while ago. Must dedicate the Lord and serve him. Like Jephthah's daughter. Are you with me? Have to serve him. And if you don't want that arrangement, then the Bible says you do the redemption. You pay a redemption price for the first one son. Now the first fruits were to be presented before the Lord at the sanctuary, and were then devoted to the use of the priests, as of the apostles. It is not God's purpose that Christians whose privileges far exceed those of the Jewish nation should give less freely than they give. Now that's a very important point to read. So inspiration says that we as Christians shouldn't be giving less than what the Jews normally gave or normally give. So we're going to look at what they normally give coming up shortly. Now there's a problem with our giving or lack of giving, and the problem is what? No real love. Perhaps feeling that they cannot well do otherwise, they dole out a sum far smaller than they often spend for needless indulgence. They manifest no real love for Christ's service, no earnest interest in the salvation of souls. What marvel that the Christian life of such ones is but a short, sickly existence. Acts of the Apostles. Alright? So watch this though. Many individuals, when we come to church, we just take out something from offering. But our offering is even less than our ice cream money. That's what the inspiration is saying here. We spend more on the ice cream than we give to God. We spend more on our cable bills monthly than we give to God. Oh, you're not hearing me? We spend more money for HBO and Cinemax than we do for our offering. Alright, so let's move on. God's reserves of time and meaning. The very same language is used concerning the Sabbath as in the law of the tithe. Are we together? So God treats both of them the same way. Please watch this. The seventh day is the Sabbath of the Lord thy God. Man has no right nor power to substitute the first day for the seventh. And please listen to me. We're going somewhere. He may pretend to do this. Nevertheless, the foundation of God standeth sure. The customs and the teachings of men will not lessen the claims of the divine law. God has sanctified the seventh day, that specified portion of time set apart by God himself for the Lord. Did you get that link? The New Testament does not reenact or reteach the law of the tithe as it does not that of the Sabbath. For the validity of both is assumed and their deep spiritual import explained. Why we as a people, this is for Seventh-day Adventists now. While we as a people are seeking faithfully to give to God the time, the Sabbath, which he has reserved as his own, shall we not also render to him that portion of our means which he claims? The inspiration is saying, but you as a Seventh-day Adventist, you seek to give God his Sabbath, but you're not treating the tithe the same way. When both he claims are his. Are we together, brethren? Review and Herald and Councils and Stewardship. Watch this now. Watch this now. Okay, good. Now, somebody said that the tithe is not a New Testament. You don't find tithe in the New Testament. That's not true. You find it in the Hebrew, but I'm not even going there. From the horse's mouth. Matthew 23:23. You can find it in your Bibles. Matthew 23:23. Woe unto you, scribes and Pharisees, hypocrites, because you pay tithe of mint, peppermint, and anise, and cumin. You pay tithe of onion and garlic. You pay tithe of thyme. Thyme meaning that the seasoning. Yeah, yes. You pay tithe of all of those little insignificant things, but you neglect the what? Nobody has found that text yet? Matthew 23:23. But you have neglected what? The weightier, the heavier matters of the law. Judgment, mercy, and faith. You know, some of us have no justice in us. We can't access the state justice. We're unfair. We neglect the weightier matters of the law. Judgment, mercy, and faith. Hear what Jesus says now. These ought ye to have done. Judgment, mercy, and faith. These ought ye to have done. And at the same time what? Come on, shout it with me. And not leave the other undone. So still tithe your time. Your time. Still tithe your anise and your cucumber and your vegetables. But do this as well. Jesus right there validates that you still ought to tithe. Are we together, brethren? That's from the horse's mouth. No, Jesus is a very serious person, you know. And he is concerned about the little insignificant things. How I know that? After Jesus fed the multitude, he gave a commandment. He said, gather up the fragments, that nothing be lost. You remember how much they gathered up in one case? 12 baskets. You remember how they started in both cases? 5 loaves and 7 loaves. That's more. That's more. That's 2 different issues, 2 different incidents. The 5 loaves for the feeding of the 20,000, 5,000 plus women and children, and I think 7 loaves for the feeding of the 4,000 or something like that. 7 loaves can hold in one basket. Are you with me? Now he says, gather up the fragments, and he has the 12 baskets left over. Isn't 12 more than 5 loaves? 12 baskets more than 5 loaves? So if he's concerned about the leftovers, he's also concerned about what you start with. So everything, every little bit, every little mechamuckle, and we know from history that Jesus had his eyes on the widow's mite. Those little beanie 1 cent and 25 cents that some of you throw away. You know when you're 1 cent and 25 cents, bring them home, call the pastors today. Bring them home, give it to them. Are you with me, brethren? Don't throw it away. Gather up the fragments. You know what 25 cents make $1 million? A lot. But $1 million is a whole lot of 25 cents. Are we together, brethren? Oh yes, so we have to say Jesus. No, we can move on. So watch this. The Sabbath and time is equal to days and weeks. So when we acknowledge God in the Sabbath, we say, God, you have all our days. When we acknowledge Him in our tithe and offering, we say, God, you have all our means. Now what do you need? Means. Are we together? You want to have days and no means? You want to live to 100 with no money? So God has all our days and He also has all our means. How do I know that? Thank you for asking. You see, Jehoshaphat was in a precarious position. He didn't have the military might, nor did he have the strategy. And the enemy was coming against him. But he had a good combined choir. Lord have mercy, choir. Listen to me. He had a good combined choir. That when they sing, they vibrate the platform. And God said, let them sing. God has all our days and all our means. We could not have done that ourselves. How do I know He has all our days and all our means? Ask Israel as they came out of the Egyptian bondage. No food, no water. And what God did? Send manna every day. Now God has a means to do it. Are you with me? Send manna every day, and when they needed water, He made bitter water sweet, and He made rocks that are known for dryness to gush forth with water. And so this is about trusting God, and it's the only thing God says, prove me. Prove me. Test me out. instance or in any other case, he gives you the challenge to try me. But in the tithe. Are you with my friend? So God has all our days and all our means. No, in every dispensation is the same requirement. As long as God has a people upon the earth, his claims upon them will be the what? Constant stewardship. A tithe of all our increase is the Lord's. He has reserved it to whom? Himself. To be employed for religious purposes. It is holy. Nothing less than this has been accepted in any dispensation. Abraham, whoever you call, same requirement. A neglect or postponement of this duty will provoke the divine displeasure. If all professed Christians would faithfully bring their tithe to God, his treasury would be full. And I don't remember what the Lord had said to me about the barren fig trees. I'm going to have to jump over the barren fig tree. But something was right there. So watch this now. Watch this now. Watch this now. Nine tenths worth more than the 10. Many have pitied the lot of the Israel of God in being compelled to give systematically, that's consistently, besides, that's the tithe, besides making liberal offerings yearly. But guess what? So hold on, let me break this down. So a lot of people look at them and say, man, we're sorry for you when they get all the church money in church. There's only one thing to know, but I know they're not saying that you get all of your money in church. Because one thing to all of your money. And all-wise God knew best what system of benevolence would be in accordance with his providence, and has given his people directions in regards to it. Watch this now. It has ever proved that 9 tenths are worth more to them than 10 tenths. You have a witness? Say like you're reading the man. You spend the whole money, you don't decide to not blow money. And that's what he said, that's what the scripture says. You blow on it. Now you put your money in a pocket with a bag with holes. But when we are faithful, and what I'm doing now is to teach our new converts that if you get this right, you can expect to have money in your pocket. And when you don't have money, you will still have a testimony. This is where a lot of members stay. Not just poor, but pauperized. There's a difference. Because they're trusting God. Now, they don't reach the money yet. They can't trust God in terms of money matters. I wish I could just stop right here and take some testimony of individuals who the last money they had, because they never give the tithe first, was the tithe. Are you with me? And you're deciding whether to give the tithe or to pay that bill. And you choose to return the tithe. And then you have been smiling at the storm ever since. Any other hands in here? Amen. Amen. Any other hands? Quiet, what is happening? Careful again. Well, the choir members are not turning, they return the tithe on time. Alright. So watch this now. Here is God's mechanism. Here is God's principle. God says, give and I'll give back unto you. Press down, shaken together, and running over. You ever put sugar in the bottle and you have more sugar in the bag, what you do with the bottle? You shake it and you knock it, and it do what? It makes space. Are we together? God says, when I give you, I don't like buying ice cream from some people. God, I want to catch the ice cream on top of the cone. Then, for me, they must pull the ice cream from in the cone, come up. But God says, I press it down. I shake it together. I make space and I give you until it run over. So if that is what God says, why would I not trust Him? Amen. Give and I give back to you. Give and I give back to you. Are you getting that, brethren? It's God who says so. Give and I give. You think that God is a liar? Give and I give back to you. Press down, shake it together, run it over. When men give into your bosom. That's what God says. Now, the first tithe. First the tithe, then offerings. Stay with me, brethren. Don't leave. Don't yield to that temptation. Stay with me. Because we're covering some things that are very important. This matter of giving is not left to impulse. So you don't just do it here and square out. How you feel. And I will. God has said that it's tithe and offering as the measure of our obligation. So tithe is not the obligation. Tithe only is not the obligation. It's tithe and offering as the measure. And He desires us to give regularly and systematically. Let each regularly examine his income, which is all a blessing from whom? And set apart the tithe as a separate fund to be secretly the Lord's. This fund should not in any case be devoted to any other use. Let me pause here so. I remember I was unemployed for some months. No money. And a friend of mine said me at he's a pastor. Like when you don't work when he's a pastor. When I can't give me tithe, when give me tithe, I'm tempted. I said, sister, keep your tithe. It's not mine. You know somebody? And I'm from the home. Send the tithe where it's supposed to go. Me could have put some more and I'll fill me home. Are you ready, brethren? I don't mind home. So I will do it. I said, you send the tithe where it's supposed to go. Alright, so watch this now. Where am I? This fund should not in any case be devoted to any other use. Go. It is to be devoted solely to the support of the ministry of the gospel. After the tithe is set apart, let gifts and offerings be apportioned as God hath prospered you. Amen? So it's a review on Herald, and we also see counsel and stewardship. Alright, watch this now. What's the offering amount? Well, what did the Jews used to do? Let's look at that. No less than 1/3 of your income was devoted to sacred and religious purposes. Hello? 1/3 is how much? It's 33.33. 33 and a third percent. So that is more than 300% of the time. Hello? Are we together? So that would be the tithe 3 times more and more. That's what the Jews